Hi folks, here's a little restoration that I done on these 3 old vintage, I think they're oil jugs that I picked up at auction. I think I paid £2 each for them. So they are in a bit of a state, rusted, but let's see what we can do with them. I want to make them into sort of display pieces. So as you can see, they've been standing in some sort of outside barn for many years by the looks of them. They're still oily, greasy inside, but they're solid. They're completely solid, but they've got a few dents in them, which I think will add to the overall look at the end. I'm not interested in getting the dents out. So first of all, I'm going to need to clean them out, and I've got this parts washer here, which is filled up with paraffin. So again, I'm just giving them a scrub down, just going to get everything off the surface of them, because as I say, I don't know what contaminants are on there, and also give them a clean outside and also inside as well. So as I say, I'm not really too bothered about removing the dents from these, because I think that will add to the overall look. And I want to try and add some custom decals to these a bit later on. I've got a printer which I can print onto some transfer paper and make some sort of vehicle oil company decals. And look at the flies inside there. Look, I just pulled out. God knows how long they've been in there. So there we go, that's most of the rubbish off now, and just drying it off. It's still got flakes of rust on there, as you can see, so I'm going to deal with that in a second, but just need to get it dried off first, because I'm going to put these in the sand blaster, or the media blaster, and you don't want that moist in there. As you can see, the old oil that once had in there, so I will have to get that cleaned out. Looks quite fresh as well. So I've just washed it out with some thinners, just to get most of the residue out of there. There we go. And into our media blaster. Now my media blaster is filled with aluminium oxide powder, and I find that does the best job at removing the rust or any debris on the surface. And I've actually upgraded my cabinet since this one. As you can see, I had a rope light in there and poor extraction, but it's a lot better now. I've got a cyclone dust remover on it, so it's a lot clearer when you're filming as well now, so that's a bonus in later videos. So taking away the years of grime there, and underneath, as you can see, the metal's still pretty good. Now I don't know what these cans were used for, obviously some sort of storage, but I'm going to be repurposing them and adding some sort of vintage aging to them as well. Right, so just going to get some U-pole car body filler here, make a bit up, and just to smooth out some of the rust marks on there. And you mix this up at a golf ball size filler to a pea size of the hardener, so you can see where someone's actually repaired that before with some solder there, look. So I just wanted to make that sort of level, that base, just so that it sort of covers up the previous repair, so to speak. And this one's got a few pinholes, as you can see, because the moisture's just crept through inside. So again, I just want to fill them in, just so we don't get any leakage when they're actually finished. So I've done my repairs now with the body filler. Just going to need to sand this back, and I use 80 grit first of all, just to bring the filler down or knock it back pretty quickly. Does a good job, 80. No need to use a machine on this, it does sand down perfectly well with a sanding block by hand. Again, this hasn't got to be perfect, I'm just sort of smoothing it off, just to give it some sort of uniformity. And again, because it's the underside, it doesn't really need to be silky smooth at the end of the day. You can just sort of leave a few ridges in or whatever, just to give it a bit of patina. But this top edge, obviously, I want to blend this in, make a nice sort of flowing edge. There we go. I'm happy with that. So just going to give them a wipe over now with some panel wipe, just a degreaser. clear any of the old fingerprints and oils on there. And any other residue. I'm just going to remove this chain, just so that it makes the painting a little bit easier. And first things first is take them outside and give them a coat of aluminium zinc spray, just as a protection barrier. This will also act as a primer as well, folks. And it will just ensure that they don't rust up. But there again, they've lasted this amount of years, so I'm sure this will outsee the age of these things. You see the dents in them now. I'm not too worried about that. I think that adds to the overall look of these old damaged cans. There you go. Just give that a nice base for me to put the colour on with. So here we go, I've got some gloss white now, and I'm just coating up this one in the gloss white. This one's going to be green, so I'm going to do that green. I'll be giving these more than one coat. This is just the first initial coat, folks. And this one's going to be red. You can see all the dents in them. As I say, I'm not worried about removing them or filling them in. That will just add to it, I think. So there you go. After another couple of coats, they, as I say, they still look battered, but they are battered. They're going to be vintage-looking pieces. We're just going to add some details to them now. So I've just printed off these old signs off my printer onto some water slide transfer paper, and then I'm just going to give them a varnish over, because they're just done with a normal inkjet printer, and by over lacquering them they won't run. So that's what you do with these. And you can buy water slide transfer papers to go into your normal inkjet printer, what you use in your house. That's what these are. You don't need a laser printer, but if I did do these with a laser printer, I'd also lacquer them as well. Now I've just cut out some of these little holes here, as you can see, on some clear plastic paper, because I'm going to be creating some mock rivets around the edge there. Now I'm lucky enough to have a craft cutter where I've cut these circles out, and I'm just putting this transfer paper around this sticky back plastic, so to speak, and then I'm going to cover the rest of the jug up, because I'm going to be spraying these to make them look like rivets. So I've just got a little air gun there, and I'm just using some black initially, just to go around and fill in all these dots around the top, just to add some sort of rivet marks on them, so to speak, that they've been made and put together with rivets. So after that's dried off, it doesn't take long with the little air gun. You can see the dots there. Looks a bit too perfect, so to speak. So I'm going to be adding highlights to these rivets now by changing the colour. So just doing the second half now. Again, exactly the same. On with the old airbrush. These little tiny airbrushes are very handy to have if you're doing sort of detailed work or restoration stuff. And it dries in no time. So I'm just adding a bit more shadow in, as you can see, with the airbrush freehand. And then I'm just going to put this back on again, and just use a bit of white there, as you can see, just to dash over the surface there. And I'm hoping that that will create the shadowing to make the rivets look raised. There we go. I'll take that off there like that. And just adds a bit of depth to the rivets. There you go. How about that, top and bottom? Just adds a little special effect, so to speak. I'm happy with that. So again, doing the same on the green one, exactly the same. You can see these little airbrushes, very, very handy to have, very easy to clean out as well. And as I say, because you're spraying a very, very fine mist, they dry out in no time. Oh, missed a rivet out there, look. Didn't even have to mask everything up there, look. There we go. Ain't got to be perfect. The more off-looking they are, the better it looks, more original. And again, using the same piece of paper, look, the same transfer backing, so to speak. And you could do all different sort of things. You ain't got to just do circles. You could do shapes or stars or whatever if you was doing decorative items. So it is a handy tool to have, a little mini airbrush, and the compressor comes with it, and they're only cheap. And there you go, that's the final result. I think they look very good. Sorry, I've used the old Tamiya paint now to add a little bit of rust looking. This is a brown. This is what you do Airfix models with, and all I'm going to do now is just literally try and make them look aged a bit. As you can see, I have done around that handle already, and I'm just changing the colour from black to brown now, and just sort of speckling it on in certain areas where you'd expect to see rust, just to add a bit more detail to it. Again, there's no art to this. It's just where you would expect to see rust. Just put a few blobs of the brown. As you can see, look, there's no, I'm just randomly doing it. Look, I'm going on top of the rivets there as well. Not doing it to every single one, just miss a few out. There we go. And by doing the different layers like this, it adds depth to them little rivets. And they're really easy to control, these little airbrushes. Not like when you're spraying out of a spray can. You can do high and low pressure just by how far back you pull the lever. Alters the pressure. So just deciding what ones I'm going to use for what. Yep, that's it. They look good. So little tub of water. Don't forget these have been lacquered now, so the inkjet printers in your printer, your normal household printer, which normally would run because they're water soluble, is now sealed in because of the spray lacquer we put on top. So just hold them in place, slide the backing away, and that's it. Look, just centralise it, and when that dries off, that will be glued on there and look authentic. You got a bit of time to move them about, so just again dab the water out from the back, and there you go. That's the first one done. As you can see, I've also wet the surface of the bottle as well as the transfer paper. That just helps it slip on. And as I say, you can do this with any old type of bottle or thing. I just found these cheaply at a car boot sale, I think, or I think, no, might have been auction. I think I got them from auction. And I was just impressed knowing that I was going to do something as a restoration piece. And I think they look great. There you go. So we started off with them old rusty old things you wouldn't look twice at. And as you can see, they was in a state. We cleaned them up, painted them up, repaired them underneath so that they didn't leak, and then transferred them into that. Ideal for any man cave or any display piece now. Vintage looking, probably worth a hell of a lot more money than what I paid for them, and a good looking piece. There you go, folks. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Don't forget to check out my other videos, and you'll see loads of car stuff, bike stuff, restoration stuff, and lawnmower repair stuff. Thanks very much. See you in the next video, and don't forget to subscribe. See you later, folks. Bye for now.